Hi, I'm Mary. I'm here from the Austin Nature and Science Center, and today is TEKS Tuesday. I'm here to talk to you about how to carry out a successful science experiment at home. You might want to do a science experiment for a school assignment, or you might just have a question that you need to understand better. But either way, there are a few steps that you need to take to design a successful experiment.
There are a lot of fun science activities you can do at home. For example, you can make a non-Newtonian fluid out of cornstarch and water. It feels weirdly between a solid and a liquid. You can cause a chemical reaction between baking soda and vinegar, and then prove that you have made heavier than air carbon dioxide gas by using it to put out a candle. You can get a recipe on the internet with only 3 ingredients for extracting DNA from fruit. And there's always everybody's favorite Mentos and soda explosion.
Now, these activities are great fun, and many of them demonstrate important scientific concepts. But if you want to answer a new question, then you need to do an experiment. That means you need to change something and then measure something. The thing that you change is called the independent variable. It is a factor that you change independently while keeping all of the other conditions of the experiment constant.
In the strawberry DNA experiment, I can think of several possibilities for an independent variable. I could use the same recipe with different fruits. Or I could try using different kinds of alcohol to extract the DNA. The recipes I found all said the alcohol had to be very cold, so I might try using alcohol at different temperatures to see how that affects my results. It's important to choose one thing to change at a time. It's too confusing to change lots of factors at once. For example, if I want to change the temperature of the alcohol, it's important to use the same procedure and keep all the other factors constant for each temperature.
But then what about the thing that you measure? This is your dependent variable, the result that you think will be affected by your independent variable. If you have really thought about your experiment and maybe even done a little research, you might already have a guess about how you think your dependent variable will change. This educated guess is called your hypothesis.
For a well-designed experiment, you need a result that you can clearly measure and record. In my strawberry extraction, the cold alcohol makes the DNA precipitate out of solution. I can change the temperature of the alcohol easily, but how do I measure my results? Further background research tells me that to measure the DNA, I need equipment that I just don't have at home. Let's begin again with another experiment question. Sometimes the best experiments come from the questions you have around your home. For example, does treating a stain with stain remover actually help get the stain out? Is one brand of paper towel really stronger than another? What kind of treat does my dog like the best? For a dog treat experiment, I need to change one thing, the brand of treats, and keep all other factors constant. That means I need to use a small number of treat types, use the same dog, and offer the treats at the same time in the same way. For my dependent variable, I can record which treat the dog eats first. Since one try might just be a coin toss, I will need to repeat the choice at least several times.
Sit, stay. Okay.
To make sure he doesn't always go left first, I will switch sides for half the trials. So now I have a bunch of results. I want to make it easy to tell how things turned out. So I can use a chart or graph to make the results easy to interpret. Can you tell which treat he likes the best?
I hope you feel inspired to use this scientific method to answer some questions for yourself. Tell us about your results on the Austin Nature and Science Center Facebook page. Good luck with all your experiments, and I hope to see you again soon on another TEKS Tuesday.